stand-up comedy is changing very quickly for comedians. Like every single day, I feel like we're seeing more of this DIY comedy or DIY comedian. And what does that mean? Well, I just feel like that means any comic that we're seeing that's putting together their own tours, doing their own marketing, releasing their own specials, it's starting to feel like more like the norm. Like in the past, you had two categories. If you don't know, is you had club comedy, and that's where you climbed the corporate ladder inside of comedy clubs to become a headliner that led you to a TV spot, that led you to, selling more tickets on tour or getting a TV show or something like that, right? That's what the classic road that we would see. And then the other side of that was alt comedy. So it was comedy that was happening outside of comedy clubs, at bookshops or restaurants or music venues or anything like that. And I've always been in the alt comedy scene more, really, because my comedy's weird, my comedy's different. And so that led me down to a different path of how to grow, and how to perform at a bar is different than how to perform at a comedy club. But now this DIY comedy where you're just putting together your own tours, putting your own specials, it's starting to feel like the norm. And so you're like, does that branch out of alt comedy where it's like we've always kind of been putting together our own shows and putting together our own thing, and now it's kind of, that's what people are doing across the board, because comics, are now knowing and seeing that you don't need these other aspects, that you don't need to get the agent, the manager, the TV production company behind you to be able to do these things, where comics of all shapes and sizes can build an audience or start a tour where they're renting out places or working with breweries where it's like 30 seats, and they can do that across the country and make a living. And then as their online content takes off, or they find some avenue that works for them, they are now able to rent out theaters that are 100 seats, 200 seats, and renting out that theater, they get to keep all that ticket money, and they're just paying a flat fee to the theater, instead of comedy clubs where they're telling you a set price that you're going to make and how many days you're going to be doing it and how many shows and sometimes where you're staying. And now they're like, they can do all that. They can figure that out, which can be hard. It's nice when someone else is doing all the work, for sure, but now you're like, okay, well, it's my audience. I can bring them anywhere. I can have them come to this music venue in Nebraska and have a great time, and I can sell whatever merch I want to. I could do 2 shows, I could do 3 shows, I could do 1 show. It's really up to me, And so you're seeing that DIY comedy just become more and more natural every year, and then the same with the specials. And like we talked about before with YouTube specials on the rise, again, it's like you're selling out these theaters of 100, 200 seats, and then you go, okay, I think I'm ready to show this to everyone on YouTube for free. And then I get to own it. I get to release it when I want. I get to do. So I'm excited as someone that started in the alt scene to see this side of comedy just keep growing, where comics are the marketing team, they are the sales team, they are the performer, they are the TV production, and that's what I'm trying to do with this channel here, is try to kind of like figure out where I can put all that content and where I can grow. But it's an exciting conversation to see this new era of comedy, and please keep going to live shows. Please keep supporting comedians. Please keep sharing the comedy specials, because that helps us. And it's nice to see the revenue from that and be able to see comedians actually be full-time comedians off of something that they built themselves. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this new wave of comedy, this new DIY comedy, and how things are growing so quickly. And I would love if you could subscribe to the channel as I grow this. I just started in this space here. This is my new podcast space, And I don't have the wallpaper up yet, still setting things up, but I would really appreciate if you could subscribe or like the video. And I'll talk to you soon in the next one.